This is the 3 p.m. Takeover, Radio Northern Beach's only drive-home show.
Keep it right here for a whole hour of fresh hits and entertainment for your Wednesday afternoon.
Here we go.
This is Falling For You by Colby Calais. Welcome to the 3 p.m. Takeover. You're listening to Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 and 90.3. That was Colby Calais, Falling For You. She kind of always puts me in a happy mood. Her songs are so cute and fun.
Yeah, her songs are always like really warm, fuzzy, cute.
And then she teamed up with Jason Mraz, who's like the boy version of her.
Yes,
and they did those really cute songs together.
They are like the gender swap version of each other.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? They suit each other.
That's so weird. I never thought about that.
I didn't until they collaborated. Then I was like, whoa, that's so clever.
You're the same person.
That's so good. And Colby Calais, since she kind of puts me in a good mood, I was reading, you know that section that comes in the Daily Telegraph, that Body and Soul one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love reading that.
That's a section I don't think I ever picked
No,
up.
I love reading it because there's always
Did they used to have a radio show? This can be a
I
weird
think so.
question. Because I feel like my first job was in a fruit shop, and I'm pretty sure Sunday was the Body and Soul
Yeah,
day.
maybe.
Because I remember sitting through hours, like 8 hours of just, and I think that's why I don't like it now, because I just sit through 8 hours of it in a fruit shop.
I'm not sure if they're related, but I love it because it's very like user friendly to read.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
got like lots of little like tiny bits, and it's very like visually
Like laid out really well.
Yeah, it's laid out well, and it makes you want to read it. And they had something on their website not that long ago about 3 simple ways to be happy.
Was listening to Colby Calais one of them?
No, it wasn't. But it made me think of it. I'm so like gimmicky. I always click on things and be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna read that and be happy, or like, oh, I'm gonna read this and whatever.
I'll say I'm like only 3 steps. I could probably do that.
There's only 3 of them, so you gotta make the most.
That's doable.
Tip number 1 is choose to be happy.
Okay, I'm already failing.
I think that's so important though. I totally reckon that stuff like that is a mindset.
But sometimes I'm not very good at, my emotions rule me a lot. So people are like, just choose to be happy. I'm like, right now I don't feel happy, therefore I can't choose to be happy.
It's true. You know, when you get in one of those moods though where you convince yourself, you're like, you know what, I'm in a bad mood and I'm going to feel that way. And you sort of like justify the fact that you feel annoyed and you're like, that's fine.
Sometimes you just need to indulge in the sadness for a bit. So
Yeah.
like, you got to ride it till you get the other side of it. Yeah.
That's true. I started doing that lately though. I try to like wake up and convince myself that I'm going to have like a happy and fulfilled day. It actually kind of works.
That's true. Oh yeah, I
guess. If you think about it,
I
it
like
happens.
to, I guess, choose to find little things that make me happy. So if it's like a bird, it sounds really lame, like a bird flying by and it's like, oh, it's really sweet, a bird. Like,
I can see that.
I guess like choose to notice things that make me happy rather than just being like horse bleeding because I'm in a bad mood.
Or like as soon as something like starts to frustrate me, I sort of like look around and find something that I will find not frustrating. Something I find relaxing.
Okay. What's tip number 2?
Tip number 2 is live with gratitude.
Oh yeah, I think that's good.
It's so important. It's really good. It's like, you know, when you get Christmas presents as a child and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I'm the child. Imagine having to be the one that buys them. How boring. And then you get older and you're like, you know what? Giving is like better than receiving.
But even more so when you give them something and you realize that you know that's something they really want.
Yeah.
And then like that facial expression they make when they're really happy and you're like, nailed it.
But as a child, you're like,
I'm the best friend ever.
And as a child, you're like, oh, imagine giving things. That would be horrible. Like,
using your own money to buy things.
When you're an adult. Like,
buying things for other people that aren't for me. Oh.
I try to be extra polite because when I feel extra polite, I feel extra happy because people look like they're happy that I was polite. That was a lot of the same words, but you know what I mean?
No, but I got what you meant.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of went round back into the circle, but it was meant to.
But anyway. But it made sense. And
what's the final tip?
The final tip.
I'm feeling happy already. Come on, let's give me the last tip to reach the
pinnacle of
happiness.
Is work out your long-term goals.
Oh no.
I think that's a really good one.
What if you don't know?
I think I always
You're so goal driven.
I am, but I don't like the word goals, but I'm very like, I have a plan, but I'm happy if I don't stick to it. I just like to know that I have something planned, if that makes sense.
Like a rough outline.
Yeah, like if I deviate from my outline, that's totally fine. I just like to know that I'm going somewhere.
I have like I think it's like a 3-year plan ahead of me at the moment.
Oh, that's very good.
But I hate the idea of if you have something further and I guess like it doesn't work out, I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah, no, there is that element
that
too.
fear of disappointment of something that I guess can't control in a sense, a lot of areas. So I'm kind of like, I have like a rough idea of what I want, but also whatever it ends up being, I know I'll be happy with because it's what it's, I guess, meant to be without getting a bit too universe woo. So.
That's so true. But yeah, so choose to be happy, live with gratitude, and work out your long-term goals. There are 3 tips for happiness, and we'll be right back after this.
That was Unbelievers by Vampire Weekend, another band / musician that can like always put me in a good mood.
I know. It's like feel-good music with feel-good tips.
On a feel-good show.
No, that's Michelle's show.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, we train with her, so we have like residue from our training.
That's true. If you listen to the radio on a Thursday morning between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. mornings with Michelle,
That's like our 4th tip for happiness.
Yeah.
Because she's guaranteed to make
Aside
you feel
from our
happy.
main 3.
So something very exciting is coming up in the middle to end of May that I want to talk about /
Where are we now?
I think we both
middle to end of April. Okay. So in a few weeks.
In like 5 weeks.
5 weeks, yep.
I think. So the 21st of May, Radio Northern Beaches is holding a radio skills workshop.
Yay.
If you want to be on radio, if a part of you is like, dream life thing to have a radio show, it's very possible.
Just you can actually do it.
What happened with us? We were like, oh, this is on, let's go to it. Amazing. Here we are now. You guys are listening to us because of this skills workshop.
They happen every sort of 3 to 4 months, and it's a really great day. It doesn't cost that much. You come and you're there for the whole day, and you get presentations from like all sorts of different station members, and you learn everything from how to speak on air to how to work some of the the technology. That's not the right word. Some of the
technical,
that's one. Yes, it works on the technical things that we have here.
Doesn't really work with the technical stuff. That's usually my job.
Clearly. And you hear from some of our presenters, and you do tips on like how to plan a show and how to be organised. And it's a really, really great day. So even if you don't want to have a radio show and you just want to know a bit more about how they're put together, this is like pretty much the best thing that you could do.
And it doesn't feel like a long day. I remember suddenly being like, oh, it's over. Because they pack it pretty full, and it's intense in the sense that you learn a lot on the day.
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel overwhelming at all, which is what I like out of my education systems. When I'm overwhelmed, that's when an education system has failed me. I feel like I shouldn't feel overwhelmed to be educated, and it's just a lot of fun. Like you meet some other people who are potentially going to be other radio presenters, and you meet other people who already have shows.
But it's really good, and you can also actually go on air at the end of the workshop. Of course, that's
terrifying.
Optional.
The first time
terrifying,
is terrifying, but it's a great practice.
You can do it because you'll be with everyone and you've been talking about it all day. But it's a lot of fun. So if you want to register for the Radio Northern Beaches Skills Workshop, you can at www.nbcc.newsouthwales.edu.au, which is the Northern Beaches Community College website. And on there you can find all the details about booking and coming.
Search for radio and it should be like the first thing that comes up. The 21st of May, Radio Skills Workshop. So please come along. We'd love to see you there. Look, we're going to go to one of the most beautiful songs that's ever existed because the singer is Ed Sheeran.
Wow, it's not that great.
It's Ed Sheeran. It is that great.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. This is Give Me Love by Ed Sheeran.
Welcome back to Radio Northern Beaches. You're listening to the 3 p.m. Takeover. And so far, we have been chatting about simple ways that you can keep yourself happy and the Radio Northern Beaches Skills Workshop, which is coming up in 5 weeks on what date?
The 21st of May. Would you say that could be a simple way to make yourself happy, attending the Radio Skills Workshop? I think it could be.
You know what? I would absolutely say it could be a simple way to make yourself happy is coming along, because even if you don't end up getting a radio show or like wanting to pursue it, you will have still had a really great day and met some really, really lovely people.
But I came across something last week. Normally, I am pretty susceptible to like the titles of certain articles. I'm like, I'll click that link and read it.
I click on everything.
Yeah. This one was about tips for guys to dress better.
Oh my gosh.
But there was part of it was like to help you get a girlfriend. And I was like, I would love to know what these tips are for guys.
Just taking out the girlfriend bit, my dream is to like write style tips for men. I feel like I would be great. But I feel like if I was a man, I'd be such a great, like, classy, ready for all occasions man.
Really?
Yes, I'd be great. I know this to be true.
Well, you've got the ego down, Pat, so...
I know, I'm ready.
Look, they were good tips, don't get me wrong, because they were very, like, straightforward. From a design point of view, they all made sense. But the first one, I was like, what? Okay. He said the first thing girls look at are your shoes. So if you're wearing poor quality or daggy, scuffed shoes, a girl's going to think less of you. And I was like, I can't remember the last time I met a guy and the first thing I did was look down and look at his shoes. I always look at their hair. I'm a sucker for good hair.
See, as whereas I do look at shoes. I mean, obviously, I make eye contact with them to like, acknowledge that I know who they are. So I'll look at their face. But the next thing I do is look at men's shoes, because
I didn't know this was a thing.
It is, because men often don't have many pairs of shoes, which is frustrating.
And they're always walking around in sneakers.
But that's the issue.
Buy other shoes, please.
This is just a rule of life. You must not ever wear runners unless you are exercising. It's not a thing. You can't do it. And there are so many
other... It's an old dad thing.
Yeah, but there are so many other casual, fun shoes that you can wear as a man that are not that. You can wear like the slip-on type ones, or like Converse, or you can wear boat shoes, or you can wear anything that's not runners.
I think guys assume that they don't have many options, but these days
so many options
they definitely do. But I I found that strange because I was like, oh, do I look down at guys' shoes? I don't think I do. And then I told you and you were like, that's the first thing I look at.
The worst is when you have cool shoes, but they just didn't suit the pants as well. Like business shoes with like really tacky frayed jeans.
When you're like, oh, you're halfway there.
Yeah, you can't just change your mind in the middle and be like super casual on the top, super formal at the bottom. Like.
The second tip is, the tips were like top things to avoid. So wearing ill-fitting clothes.
Men always wear large clothes, don't they? Yeah. So many men.
They're always like, this shirt's great. Can I have like 2 sizes bigger, please? For no particular reason.
A t-shirt should sit like below your belt on your hips, not like halfway to your knees.
Yeah. And I'm like, I get that like Eminem was a big, we talked about this last week, there was a big influencer on style, but like
those days are gone.
It's been years.
The baggy t-shirt days have gone.
Yeah, please wear proper fitting shirts. And like when they were too tight, it's like, we get it. You go to the gym, we get it.
Or the one the classic for men, suit jackets that are too long and they just make you look really short.
Yes.
And ties that are too long and you're like, it's supposed to have ended at your belt buckle.
The next tip is don't wear too many patterns. Don't wear more than one that's too patterned. I 100% agree with that.
Patterns make me mad.
Like I get that you're trying to peacock, but just wear like black pants and like a patterned shirt.
But block colours are in for men at the moment. Patterns are not in. Unless you're under 15.
See, that is one of the next tips. Don't follow trends to a T. Build a wardrobe that will stand the test of time, which I agree. Just because block colours are in, if you like a bit of pattern, wear a bit of pattern, but don't wear 4 patterns
It depends
at once.
what the pattern is. No, I think I wasn't thinking of patterns so much because like stripes or like dots or like different block coloured sections are cool. I'm going to say it, it's people that wear logo T-shirts. Like men.
Oh, like graphic tees.
Who are,
That's
who are
different.
like
That's not a pattern.
older.
That's a graphic.
Well, graphic T-shirts.
By pattern, they mean like don't wear like plaid pants with like a polka dot shirt.
Yeah, or don't wear plaid pants with like a graphic T-shirt.
And this wasn't a tip on here, but I'm going to put it out there. If you wear fun socks, I'm going to like you even more instantly. You know when you're on the bus and like a guy will sit down, he's wearing like a full proper business suit and he'll have like stripy pink and blue socks and you're like, yes!
That is really good.
And they just like make that effort because they have like, I guess, a boring work attire and they just add like super fun
have
socks.
a fun bit, yeah.
I love that. I'm like, you obviously have a super fun personality.
Or like mismatched socks.
No.
My dad has day of the week socks.
No, the socks should match.
Oh no, I wear mismatched ones. Like the same sock but different colour.
What do you say? Day of the week socks, like they say.
No, I know someone that wears day of the week socks but doesn't wear them on the right day. And I'm like,
no.
And he's like, oh, but I wear the Friday ones on Monday because then I feel happier because it's like Friday.
I guess that's nice, but my internal like slight OCD is like, you can't do that.
You've got to match the day.
Yeah.
What are the rest of his tips?
The last tip is dress sharper, but don't lose your identity in the process. You can make a statement without going overboard.
That's
pretty
true.
Good. Yeah, like there's a way to dress better without completely changing exactly how you look. If you love wearing jeans and a t-shirt, that's 100% doable. You just don't have to wear the super loose, overly the top baggy t-shirt where you're like 4 sizes too big with scruffy shoes.
That's true. But this is why for men, chinos were invented. And chinos are like the perfect mix between like casual and formal. Chinos are the thing.
They are the medium strip of textiles.
They
fabrics.
are. That would be, if I'm going to add my tips, my tip would be invest in some good chinos in multiple colours. So you're ready for all occasions.
Fair enough. That is a good tip.
Because if you're a man and you don't like wearing skinny jeans, straight jeans are kind of
chinos are
not
perfect
a thing anymore. Yeah. And chinos are like a good blend when you can't hack the skinny jean, but you also acknowledge that straight jeans are not as in fashion as they once were.
And chinos is that material that, like you're saying, can do any colour, which is really handy.
It does every colour. Yeah. It's like stretchy but doesn't look stretchy, and it's like looks formal but isn't formal.
And I've never
actually invented the chino. This person was so smart.
Mr. Chino. Or Ms.
Ms. Chino. It could have been a girl.
I feel like it was probably a guy because only guys wear them. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a pair of chinos for girls.
Women chinos.
Yeah, if you guys have any good dress tips for men. Yeah, post on our Facebook wall. Help the local community of men out.
Do you know what my other one is? It goes back to shoes. Wear shoes that like come to a point. I can't deal with shoes that are like boxy? Wide and then have like a boxy toe. Unless they're school shoes, it's not allowed. No boxy toe shoes. Aww. Go for like the point.
Well, what if guys don't? I hate wearing pointed shoes. It squinches the sides of my toes in.
Well,
they're always uncomfortable. Different. What? They don't have toes?
No, they're styled differently, I think.
Oh, okay. Of course they are. They probably have bigger pockets. They probably have pockets in the goddamn shoes.
That's true. I was always brought up to believe that the pointier your shoe was, the more important you were as a man.
That is a very weird measuring scale system.
It is, but now I always notice pointiness of shoes. And I look at them and I go, you know what? You've got good pointy shoes. I approve of you.
You must think that elves are super important.
They are.
With their pointy, curly shoes. The point is so intense it has to curl round.
So, no, I still maintain.
Christmas is Hope's favourite time of year.
if I was a man, I would be all over it Star Wars.
What, the elf shoe?
As a woman, not as much. Sometimes. Yeah. Maybe.
Although if you have an outfit and you need to make it look just that little bit more formal, unfortunately, because I hate it, but you add a pair of pointed shoes and you're like, it's suddenly a little bit more formal.
That is so true. Small things
shoes,
you can add to suddenly. Often, like, you can still keep something comfy on, but you just a different material. Suddenly you're formal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Let's, while you guys consider those tips, we're going to head into some Coldplay. This is Shiver. That was Light Surrounding You by Evermore. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. takeover to make your Wednesday afternoon
just that little bit better.
I was going to say 10 million times better, but sure, just a little bit.
Just trying to be modest.
Yeah, you're like modest, and I was like, we're just so great, making your day so much better. And we're going to talk about something that I personally think is really important because only of late I've really, I guess, enforced it upon myself. And
ooh, drama.
Yeah, that's a really harsh word, mate. Like, just like, I guess, been teaching myself to apply these things, and it's self-care.
Oh, that's important. That's always important.
Because
it's a big thing.
I always found it to be such like a selfish thing to be like taking care of yourself first. But I was reading this article about it, and the person was saying that self-care is not selfish because love and take care of other people, you need to take care of yourself first. You need to be 100% before you can...
Yeah, you do.
Like, give more of yourself away. And that really changed my mindset of it. And so...
Parts of what you have to do have to be self-absorbed, and self-absorbed isn't selfish.
Yeah, exactly. So of late, I've been... I'm still not very good at it, but I'm still learning. Simple things like going to bed earlier so I don't feel crap the next day.
Yeah.
And
always.
I think it kind of ties back to our first segment. We talked about 3 simple ways to be happy, and I think little things like living life with gratitude is a really simple way of self-care to actually be thankful for what's around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I find that, and
the more positive your outlook, the happier you will be, and you'll have better days.
And it's not easy every day. Some days it's really hard.
It is
to be happy. And I think a big one for me is learning to say no, which. Yeah.
Don't be a doormat.
Yeah. Because I think you're trying to be helpful for everyone, but sometimes you just have to say no because otherwise, yeah.
Well, otherwise people continue to ask you for things because they know that you'll always say yes.
Yeah, but also you can't spread yourself too thin because then you'll do 10 jobs half-assed rather than doing 3 or 4 really well.
Yeah, that's always a crucial thing.
Yeah.
I got a list. I think there's 25. I'm not sure if there were. Somewhere between 20 and 25 tips on self-care.
I'm excited. I'm probably going to learn a lot, and I hope you guys do too.
Yeah, they're really good. So the first one is stop overthinking.
Not possible. Next. Overthinking is like
make
all
things
that I am.
simple for yourself, I suppose. Number 2, just accept what is. So don't change things that you can't change.
Yeah,
which is a big learning curve. I feel that kind of goes for most
control
of your
what you can and just sort of, I guess, accept and work with what you can't.
Yeah, and to kind of go with that. Number 3 is be still. So just stop racing your mind and what you're trying to do and just take a step back, I suppose. Number 4 is stop comparing yourself to others. That's always a really big one.
That's a really good one, and that's a really hard one to enforce on yourself.
Yeah, and it depends how you do it. I'm really pro comparing myself because I don't do it in a negative way. I'm very much the person that goes, oh, wow, look at that person. I wish I could this, and this. And then I go and I do it because I want to.
Oh, you see people more as inspiration than competition.
I compare myself to make myself better. Like for that kind of thing, for my own self. I don't compare myself and go, ugh, it sucks that they're so much better. I'm like, wow, I want to be like that. So then I do. So it can be a good thing.
I see that with with fashion. I'll see someone else and I'm not always like, oh, they look amazing. I wish I could do that. But like, I wonder if I can do that.
And then you do, and you're like, great, cool.
Doing that
now
combo.
I'm on that next step.
Or if I put on, I go, I don't feel great in this. That's okay. They look
great.
You go,
never mind, I've tried now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good thing.
People are like, they're like walking Pinterest boards of inspiration.
The next thing is create joyful rituals. So I guess just doing little things in the day that you really enjoy doing.
That's nice.
Yeah. So for me, that's sitting down with a book for 5 minutes before I go to sleep, like no matter how busy my day's been.
That's good.
So that's
nice.
like a little one for me.
That probably helps you slow down as well.
Yeah, it is really good. The next one is take actions that scare you, which I agree with. It's as scary as it can be. I think it's good to challenge yourself because then you feel like you've overcome something, which is always positive.
That one's another one that's quite hard to do.
Yeah, that is. It's a good thing. It's like when I first started working in jobs where I had to answer the phone and make phone calls, I was really nervous. Like I was very much like I would hide behind emails when I was younger. Oh, yeah. And I was like, no, I have to challenge myself to like use the phone more.
Yeah,
and
I never had that fear of making phone calls.
I never had it generally, but I did in like a professional environment in case someone would ask me something I didn't know, or in case I'd have to like transfer them to someone. Like I used to work somewhere where I'd have to transfer phone lines, and I used to get so scared that I would like put them onto the wrong person or like hang up on them and things like that.
Yeah, that can be scary.
So that can be good. The next one is cherish your friends.
Aww.
Always important. Don't forget that they're important too.
Very much so. Friends are the glue that put the sparkles on the happiness of your vision board of life.
Wow.
I just
exciting.
made that up.
I was like, wow.
I have no idea if that made
Where
sense.
is it going?
I think I kind of blacked out halfway through that, trying to work out where I was going with that. But that kind of makes sense.
It did make sense, but I liked it. The one after, I love this one because it kind of goes against the traditional one, is know your strengths. So everyone always says know your weaknesses, but I like know your strengths. That's always an important one. Know what you're good at, know what you enjoy and what you're capable of, and
I think knowing what you enjoy
work
is
with that.
really important because people can say, oh, take a bath to relax. I don't like taking baths. They don't relax me. And I know that about myself. So someone goes, how do you relax? I know specific YouTube channels and YouTubers that will cheer me up, which sounds silly to some people, but knowing that watching at least 2 videos by community channel, Natalie Tran, I know she's always going to cheer me up.
Yeah, like there's certain movies that I can put on that I know will make me feel better.
Certain movies.
Things like that.
That you can like slowly build up and be happy again throughout the length of the movie. Yeah.
That's true. After that, is eat as many greens as possible because
like green M&Ms?
No.
Or like green Skittles?
Green as in vegetables, I feel.
So don't taste nearly as good.
Cleansed and happy.
Green Skittles are the best flavour. So
that is true.
I'm going to take that tip as eat more green Skittles. And
I like it.
Next tip.
The next tip is exercise regularly. And that's as simple as going on a 10-minute walk after work if you haven't had time.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
Yeah, it's sometimes so important.
Just getting outside, having like fresh air in your face and your
and
body
relaxing.
moving at like a slowish pace can be so
edifying. It's really good. After that, don't let people walk all over you.
Doormat.
Yeah, doormat alert. Very important.
Yeah, learn to say no.
The next two kind of go with each other. Forgive yourself and forgive others. It's much harder to forgive yourself than to forgive other people. Whereas for me, I find it is.
Yeah, no, it is.
It's important to learn to do that.
I'm not one to hold a grudge, but I feel like it can take me a long time to forgive someone.
Yeah.
And it's not a grudge.
Do you hold grudges like with yourself?
Oh, of course. I'm my worst enemy.
I think everybody is. But that's so true. I always, like someone told me once, like you can't make other people happy or love other people if you don't love yourself and feel happy with yourself.
I disagree with that.
I think that's a good tip.
Sometimes the times when I hate myself the most, I find it easier to turn around and love someone else more. And then when I'm happy through loving them, I can, because I've made them happy, that I begin to love myself again because I've made someone else happy.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'm very much like
starting from scratch of like loving myself
first.
No, I can't do that.
I don't have to love myself, but I have to be like in a good, satisfied place before I can like focus on somebody else, I feel.
Yeah. Oh, see, I find just like by focusing on someone else.
That makes you happier?
Yeah, it like allows my brain and that dislike of myself to like reboot and turn itself around and like refresh itself.
So we have don't be negative, which is good. If you can be positive, that's better.
No.
Don't live don't live on social media. That was an important one.
That's a good one linked with don't compare yourself to other people because I think it's really hard to remember when you're scrolling through your Facebook feed that people choose what they put up on Facebook and often they're just going to put up what makes it look like they're having a great day.
Yeah, that's true. And we have a last 2 others. Allow yourself to feel different feelings. Marry, date / cohabitat with a really nice person, which is good. Be with nice people. Read nonfiction to expand your mind. Watch less TV.
I don't like those 2 last tips. Continue.
And be of service to others and be yourself.
That's nice. I think the last one is really good. Be of service to others and to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good one.
And don't always, like I think it's good to put other people first, but don't put yourself last.
Yeah, always. The way that I'm always of service to myself is listening to Milky Chance.
You love this song.
I love this song and I love Milky Chance in general and nobody else does. So I thought I would play it to share with all of you what I do to make myself happy, which is listen to these guys. Welcome back to the 3pm Takeover on Radio Northern Beaches. That was Milky Chance with Stolen Dance, which is a really, really cool song.
That rhymed.
It did rhyme.
I like that.
Yeah, I didn't really realise until I was in the middle of saying that it rhymes, but it does. And because we are getting towards the end of our show, it is time for
Suburb Focus.
Correct. And you know what's really funny about this Suburb Focus is this week we are talking about Church Point and Cottage Point. So we've put them together.
Why is that hilarious?
Because they're smaller. Because they're really small, tiny suburbs in the north of Pittwater. And
Beautiful suburbs.
Beautiful suburbs. I was in Church Point yesterday. So it makes it very relevant, which is quite cool. So the land that is now Church Point was
Wait,
first...
I don't get why it's hilarious.
It was just weird because I happened to be there yesterday.
Oh, it's weird, not funny. Oh, okay.
Just, not like a funny.
That or you're so dedicated to Suburb Focus that you went and physically checked it out.
I did. I mean, went there, checked it out.
Canvassed the
checked
neighborhood.
out the sky. No, it was pitch black. It was night, but yeah.
Oh.
The land of like where Church Point is was first acquired in 1852. So it's a little bit younger than a couple of its other... It's not like Scotland Island. It's not 12,000 years old. But the guy who first acquired the land there, William Oliver, his brother was the one that discovered Elvina Bay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they were kind of going around the area, scouting things out, clearly.
How very greedy of them. No,
I know. Church Point was originally called Chapel Point.
Oh, because so it didn't shift too far from its original name.
No, it didn't, because there was a big chapel there.
Cute.
But then they changed it to Church Point. And that chapel is not there anymore.
Oh,
it was,
really? That sucks. That makes me sad.
It was taken down in the 1900s, but the little graveyard is still there, and William Oliver is buried in there.
Really?
Yeah, so like all the way from the 1850s, his grave is there, and his wife, which is quite cool, like to think that they're still there.
Mrs. Oliver?
I guess so. Must be Mrs. Oliver. This I didn't actually know. The water around Church Point is really, really, really deep. Like, I can't say I've ever thought about it, but it's really, really deep, enough that in the 19th century, it was quite a trading hub for larger ships because they could come right in.
Really?
Yeah, and then take everything and then, like, unload their cargo.
They didn't need, like, to get into the small ships to come out.
Yeah, they didn't need to moor because the water at Church Point is so deep that big ships could come in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So, like, they would unload cargo there and then take it to, like, all different parts of the beaches.
Wow.
Yeah, who knew that? And so then if we move on to Cottage Point, a little bit older, Cottage Point is actually a heritage conservation area now, one of the only suburbs in Pittwater that is.
I didn't know it was a heritage listed place.
It is, heritage listed suburb, in fact.
Wow.
Which is quite cool.
I didn't know they could heritage list whole suburbs.
They can now, when it's Cottage Point.
Only for Cottage Point.
True, which was founded in 1788, so a bit older. And it was originally an area where there were a lot of like smugglers and robbers and stuff, like in the in the bush, which is quite cool.
How very like Robin Hood.
Yeah, I guess kind of like that. And it was originally called Terry's Point, and then Gerard Point, and then Cottage Point.
I like Cottage Point.
I was the same.
It sounds better than Terry Point. What's Terry pointing at? No one knows.
That's true.
And what was Gerard pointing at? No one knows.
And fun little fact about Cottage Point that I think is super cool: it is believed to be the first suburb where they had rowboats for hire.
Like for recreational use, or for like I got to row somewhere?
No, for like recreational, like
people doing like those big lakes in the middle of cities.
Yeah, those little like yellow paddle boat things that we have these days.
Aww.
Yeah, in 1890.
Aww.
First suburb to do recreational boat hire.
All those smugglers just want to have fun.
Oh, and there are only 50 properties at Cottage Point, and Cottage Point didn't actually have electricity until 1974.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
They get electricity in like Downton Abbey in like the 20s. Downton Abbey was ahead of Cottage Point in getting electricity.
Poor Cottage Point.
It's a beautiful place.
It is. I love that area, and West Head, and I love going there for meals. It's really expensive, but it's worth it for a good occasion. And I've been to a couple of weddings in Cottage Point.
Oh, really?
On the water,
that'd
and
be
they
beautiful.
are so beautiful.
That would be...
Pittwater is an amazing backdrop for weddings. I think people forget how nice that whole... So all the suburbs we've been doing lately, you know, Elvina Bay and Lovett Bay and all those areas are so nice for...
They're gorgeous.
Photos and whatever else. So that was Church Point and Cottage Point.
And that neatly wraps up our show for this week, which I know I say every week, but that just went really quickly.
Every time.
Yep, every time. So we just played one of your favourite songs beforehand, and now we're finishing with one of my favourite songs. This is Suburbia by Troye Sivan. Have an excellent week. Enjoy this killer Australian artist.
And we will see you next week.